Hello, I am TheZOMBIEJ. I was watching a documentary, but I decided to, pause it for now just to get this video done. So, one thing I hate is, I hate a lot of things, and, the headaches is just one of those. Headaches hurt. They really do. Recently I had a headache, and it was, I woke up to, minor headache. Throughout the day it got worse, and worse, and worse, and worse, and worse, and I hated this headache. I was miserable throughout most of the afternoon, up until I decided to finally take some medication and lay down in the bed and, sleep. I took a nap, short one, then had dinner. After dinner, I was fine. I was okay. The headache was so bad, it was a splitting ass headache. It was like both sides of my brain were splitting down the middle, and they were fighting each other. It's like two worlds colliding. And it was just, I couldn't take it. It was so bad that I wanted to kill myself. I'm dead fucking serious, by the way. That is not a joke. All I could think about while suffering through this headache was suicide. Because that's how bad it was! It's like, all I wanted to do was put a gun to my head and blow my brains out, just to kill the headache, kill the pain, and theoretically myself, because it was just terrible. It was bad. It was a bad headache. It was a painful one. It hurt. It felt like both sides of my brain were going to war with each other, and both sides were losing. That's what happens. And I was just miserable. I felt like shit. I was seriously. This was probably the worst headache I've had at all this year, and in a long time. I think this happened before, but either way, a splitting ass fucking headache just ruins my day and makes me not want to record any videos because I didn't want to. I was suffering enough. I didn't need to suffer anymore on video for all of you. Recently, I had another headache. Smaller headache. Minor. Still fucking hurt. Hurt a little bit. Wasn't as bad. I've suffered through headaches a lot over my 32 years of existence. And they are painful, yes. They make me violently ill. And this one was actually making me violently ill. This latest one that was so bad that, okay, I was sitting on the couch in the living room and just suffering through the pain of my head, just it felt like my head was caving in, under pressure, and the pain was so bad that I was literally getting ill. I felt like I was going to vomit. Obviously, I didn't vomit. Well, that's because I had my dad get me some pain pills to help kill the pain. So, and yeah, it was effective. The pain medications worked. When a headache is enough to make me want to off myself, then you know it was really bad. It really was, and it was enough to make me want to puke as well. That is, I don't know what to make of that, but it's as if my headache was literally, transferring, signal waves to my stomach or whatever, and basically telling it, hey stomach, if this doesn't get resolved, I'm gonna make you, regard whatever, The human body is a fascinating idea, and just the way the brain commands everything, even my hand right now. Wrong hand. Anyway. Over the years, I've suffered through headaches. What is a headache, by the way? Well, it's when your head hurts. That's as simple as you can put it. It's when your head hurts from... Like, it can happen at any random point of the day. When you wake up from sleep, or just whenever. A headache can happen because of smells that don't agree with your stomach, or in turn your brain, or through just, headbanging. Yeah, that can cause your head to hurt, and rightfully so. You're headbanging to some pretty awesome metal. On an unrelated note, I pulled a muscle back here, right there, with my shoulder blade, by my shoulder blade or something, and yeah, that's not good. Damn it. Pulling muscles is one thing. And it's a total separate issue in on itself, but it does fucking hurt. Headaches are painful, and they make me just ill. This specific headache that I had recently was probably the worst. It was the worst headache. It made me want to commit suicide. It made me want to violently vomit. It was terrible. It really was fucking terrible. And I was just absolutely fucking, miserable. I didn't know what to do about it other than take medications. Medications can only go so far. And, it was just awful. I always hate when I get a headache, because that means that, I can't function, I can't operate, I can't do anything that I want to do, like record a video for all of you. I can't do that because I don't want to suffer on camera. I'm probably suffering right now and I don't know it, but whatever. Headaches in general are a literal pain. They're a little pain in the brain. A migraine is a type of headache, and that's probably what I had, was a severe migraine. And I don't know what caused it. That's the thing. The cause of a headache can be undetermined. As I've said, it could be just a smell that's not agreeing with you, or it could be, sometimes a blunt trauma to the head or something. I don't know. Like headbanging from listening to awesome metal, Slayer, for example. Or you could get a headache from, I don't know, being hit in the head with something. There's always that. It really is just a bad thing to go through, is a severe headache like the one I went through. I wouldn't wish it upon my worst enemy. Well, okay. My own worst enemy is actually myself, but I think we all tend to feel like that from time to time, but I wouldn't wish this headache upon any of you. Because then you would suffer the way I suffered. You would feel the way I feel. Collectively, we all, suffer a headache, and it's a pain. Now, I do understand there is some music out there that could cause some headaches, but in all seriousness, headaches can prove to be just a bad experience overall. If you are susceptible to headaches, then you might want to consult a doctor, if you can trust them anymore. And if you need medication, then that's available over the counter. Make sure you have medication in your living quarters. If you have medication, a bottle of like Tylenol or something like that, migraine medicine, if you have that, make sure you have a full bottle, and make sure it's accessible. Because if you can't access the pain medications, then you're just going to continue to suffer. So, take precautionary measures to make sure that the experience of having a severe headache doesn't impact you greatly. I'm not a medical scientist or anything like that. I don't want to be, to be honest. I'm not a professional. I'm just going by my experiences and the pain that I felt going through a fucking headache. And it's terrible. It really is. It's not something that we should all be, susceptible to go through. But as the human race, we are susceptible to headaches. I can't imagine a single person out there that is not susceptible to headaches. We all are. Let's be honest. And there's ways around it, obviously. Now, I will say that listening to the new Shinedown album with my headphones on, with the music going through the headphones in my ears the other day, when I was about to have another headache, that actually helped. Actually, Shinedown's music was something that, could, whether it was intentional or not, help a headache go away. Because 8 was a great album. It really was, and still is. I've listened to it about twice. And still need to listen to the vinyl record that I have. But seek out that album if you haven't already. Best rock album of the year. And it's not even the end of 2026 yet, so I do thank you, Shinedown, for releasing an album that helps me with my headache. That's kind of funny, but, it's true. It helped me with that second headache that was minor of a headache, so it was able to go away real fast with an hour and 5 minutes of Shinedown music. So, that was pretty cool. Now, what makes a headache and a migraine differentiate from each other? They're basically the same thing, for the most part, and they're both things you can suffer through. They both impact the brain, and they both impact you, your ability to, function throughout the day. So, you take medications. And if you don't take medications, you're going to be just, in ruins. You're going to suffer. You're going to be in pain. And I remember earlier this year, I think, I had a headache, and I tried to make it go away just by just writing it out, not taking any medication. But it just kept persisting, and just went on. I hated it. I was miserable again, and I was just sick of it. Eventually, I did take some pills, some medication, and only once. But eventually, over time, the headache went away, and yeah, so as susceptible to headaches as we are as humans, we have to realize that this is part of our design. You know, it's just a part of how we are. Being prone to getting headaches as often as we do, I mean, you have to be in perfect health in order to not get headaches. But even that's bullshit because, you know, nobody is in perfect health, let's be honest. There are people out there who have improved health, obviously. But, you know, there are a lot of us that just are in good enough health, I guess, decent enough health, and yet we suffer through the headaches. Strange and interesting conversations can also lead to headaches. Like if you're trying to talk to someone and they just don't bend over backwards because they have a stupid opinion or they're just an entitled bitch, well, you can always you get a headache from talking to this person, and you'll always just, you know, get that. So, might as well just walk away from the situation. Obviously, we're all entitled to our opinion, but, you know, sometimes you just gotta walk away from a specific situation when it's just too much for you to handle because you got the headache. So, there's that. And got the tea. Tea is good for a headache. Tea is good in general. That's another thing. Headaches can be cured through means of herbal tea in some ways, or some food item. I'm not sure what exact food items are good for headaches, but I do know tea. Tea is good as a drink to help you with headaches. Now, obviously, if you go unsweetened and it's just, you know, bitter tasting. For example, I have black tea. And unsweetened, it's not okay. It's too bitter. Too bitter. So, I put in some sweet and low, which is saccharin, basically. And it's good stuff. Makes the tea sweet. Makes the tea, you know, actually work for me. And, you know, being able to get away from a headache by means of a drink such as tea, yeah, it's easy. You can do it. Now, it's not easy for everyone to, you know, cure a headache. If you're taking Xanax or any kind of pills like that, and the headache gets even worse, then what do you think the problem is? Headaches are definitely still a problem in the medical world, and they're not going away anytime soon. You can't 100% cure a headache. You can't stop it from not springing back up, you know, further down the line. You'll always get a headache. It'll always keep coming back at some point in the future. You'll get a break from it temporarily, but still. The temporary solution is medication. Long-term, you know, solution is, well, there is none. There is no long-term solution. There are solutions that I would not wish upon anyone. And I think you know what that is. Because I literally was thinking about it during the suffering of the headache, and that is, of course, suicide. I didn't feel great about it at all, but, you know, what was I supposed to think? I mean, I was suffering through this headache. All I could think about was, you know, and as someone who has been through many levels of depression, many levels of, well, suicidal thoughts and whatnot, it would be no surprise if I've, you know, gotten the suicidal thoughts while this headache was emerging. Because it was that bad. It really was. It hurts. It really does. I'm glad that the headache is over, though. Anybody who's experiencing a headache right now, after watching this video, well, that's a problem. You might want to, I don't know, seek help. Because if this video is enough to give you a headache, based on my experience of getting a fucking headache, what? I understand, you know, eye contact with the screen of a computer can give an individual a headache from time to time. Yes. But this video was not meant to, you know, give people headaches. This was meant to inform and, you know, give you all a taste of what I felt was just, you know, what I just had to explain myself and tell y'all what I think about headaches in general. Overall, the headache and the migraine and the head hurting in general is a thing where, you know, we suffer through it and we tend to just want it to go away, and we do whatever we can to make it go away, but it takes time for the headache to go away. So do whatever you can to stop your headache. But, you know, the easiest way is medications. It's probably the best way, you know, Tylenol or some sort of migraine reliever. That's the only way. That is, well, moral for one, and two, it also is probably the most effective. The most effective way of alleviating a headache, of alleviating a migraine, is through the medications. This is proven through science. And that's all you can really do. Overall, headaches, they suck, they hurt, and one was enough to make me violently ill. I hated it. I literally felt sick to my stomach. And it was terrible. It was terrible. Worst headache of all time. Worst headache ever that I've ever had. And overall, yeah, it was bad. The headache was bad. Anyone who has worked in the medical field will probably tell you that medication is the best way to go. That's all there is to it. Well, there you go. That is this video. I will be back with a Moha video as long as it doesn't give me a headache from screaming. Well, you know, even if I do get another headache soon, for whatever reason, it is what it is. I'll just, you know, have to suffer through it, and just hopefully it won't be as splitting as it was previously. Always be prepared for when a headache, you know, interrupts your life. Because some headaches can be damaging, others can be just, you know, just ruin things for you. This is the TheZOMBIEJ saying, cure your headache wisely, and be prepared for when another one may come up. I'm not a scientist or anything like that. I'm not a medical expert. But, again, I'm just going based on my experience. I hope my experience was was enough to, you know, help you along with your headache. And if so, let me know what your experience with a massive splitting-ass headache was in the comment section below. Together, if we fight against the headache, maybe someday a permanent cure can exist, although I doubt it. Yeah, that's it for this video. Stay tuned for more videos. I am TheZOMBIEJ. I'll see you folks. Have a good fucking day, and peace.